19 games on the bill for opening night of Section 5 football tonight. We began with Webster Schroeder hosting Irondequoit. Early on, it's Schroeder's Sam Lugood off the handoff, going up the middle for the 15-yard touchdown, rumbling in. It was 7-0 Warriors. Irondequoit would respond with the long ball. Joel Miller airing it out, and it's Jordan Edison reeling it in, and he's off down the sideline, taking it to the end zone. That would tie the game. It was all Webster from there, though. Andy Spadoni to Pete Noto for the touchdown. Webster wins tonight 42-21. How about Victor and Eastridge? Third quarter, Victor's Trevor Wilson. Nice run right up the gut. His touchdown would put Victor up 16-12. Fourth quarter, Eastridge battles back. Wayne Washington powering his way through the defense, breaking tackles, in for the score. The missed extra point gave Eastridge a 21-16 lead. They would add to it in the fourth. Devin Hopkins bouncing to the outside, taking it down the opposite field sideline all the way for the score. Eastridge wins their opener 27-16. Elsewhere tonight, it was Wayne, big winners over Brighton 34-7, and Leroy over Batavia 20-12. The opening weekend of Section 5 football continued throughout our area today. We've got highlights for you. Churchville-Chili and Marshall kicking off their seasons with a rematch of last year's AA championship game. Churchville-Chili, plenty of offense. Check out this long pass brought in by Brandon Leader. He tackled on the 1-yard line. Set up Avon Collier a yard out, gets it in for the score. It was 10-6 Saints. Third quarter, Collier again, another touchdown run. That made the score 17-6. To the fourth, where Collier would find the end zone for the third time, showing some moves. A 22-yard run, 24-6 Churchville-Chili. They would score 31 unanswered points en route to a 31-6 victory. Rush-Henrietta opened up against Brockport this weekend. Check out the RH special teams. You're going to like this one. Off a kickoff, talk about sending a message. Bam, what a hit there. Definitely in football season in Section 5. RH showing some trickery in the game. John Bersales coming to the near side on the reverse. He would go in for the score. The Royal Comets open up with a win today, 28-7, the final. Fairport and Greece Athena. Fairport trying to cut into Athena's 28-0 lead. John Black running it in for the score, but that's all they would get. Athena wins 28-7. The rest of today's scores are running at the bottom of the screen. And with the start of a new high school sports season comes a new season for Game Time on 13wham.com. Go beyond the highlights and watch video footage shot by our 13wham sports photographers. It's your online source for expanded Section 5 coverage. Look for the Game Time icon at 13wham.com.
More local weather in the morning. 13 Wham News this morning, now from 5 to 9 on Rochester CW, Cable 16, Digital 13.2. Now, 13 Wham Sports.
The opening weekend of Section 5 football concluded today with a great showdown between McQuaid and Aquinas at St. John Fisher College. And what a Sunday matchup, the 46th meeting between the two rivals, nearly 4,000 in attendance. Aquinas starting on offense, first play from scrimmage, the handoff goes to Anthony Fitz, coming at you right down the near sideline into the end zone, a 66-yard score. Little Irish on top, 7-0. Then it's AQ going to the air, Ben Bostwick back to pass, catches Syracuse-bound receiver Matt Jones, 36 yards on the hookup inside the 10. Dan Young caps off the drive, cutting to the inside and running in for the touchdown, 14-0 AQ. But McQuaid not going away. Second quarter, Billy Swift back to pass. He finds John Kelly, great catch in the corner of the end zone, cutting the Little Irish lead in half. It was 14-7 Aquinas at the break. Second half, more from McQuaid. Tamaris Bell up and over and in for the touchdown. A great move there, tied the game at 14. Fourth quarter, after blocking an Aquinas punt, McQuaid making good on it. Billy Swift stuffing it in on the quarterback keep. They would miss the extra point, but led 20-14. But that missed extra point would be costly. Dan Young running in the end zone for AQ. They would convert the extra point, win a great game, and they're taking home the trophy after a 21-20 victory this afternoon.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
The Section 5's reigning Class AAA champions from Gates-Chili took the field tonight, looking to run their record to 2-0 against their rivals from Fairport. The Red Raiders looking to avoid an 0-2 start to the season. First quarter, the Spartans took it right to them. Trevor Finnerty, Chad Dillard, and Dillard does the rest, breaking 2 tackles and getting into the end zone for the 30-yard score. It was 7-0 Gates-Chili. Later in the quarter, the same combo hooks up again. Finnerty airing one up top to Dillard. Dillard gets it for the 8-yard strike. Dillard also ran for a touchdown. Gates-Chili shuts out Fairport 28-0. The Battle of Irondequoit as East met West tonight. First quarter, quarterback T.J. Cheney scrambling out of the backfield and going untouched for the 9-yard score. It was 7-0 East Irondequoit in the second. Cheney showed off his arm with a flick of the wrist. He finds a wide-open Majid Eason, who goes 84 yards. All the way for the touchdown. It was 14-7 Lancers at that point. East Irondequoit poured it on their rivals tonight, racking up 553 yards of total offense as Kemar Burton takes it all the way to the house for the 24-yard touchdown. The Lancers beat their crosstown rivals for the first time in 9 years, 48-10. How about perennial power Hornell visiting the Bulldogs of Livonia? It was 7-6 at the half. Third quarter, David Zapata got the Raiders going, busting loose up the middle and into Bulldog territory. The drive continued for Hornell. Off the handoff, quarterback, off the fake handoff, quarterback DJ Schwartz takes it on his own all the way down to the goal line. That would set up this. David Zapata from a yard out, 14-6 Livonia. Zapata, who rushed for over 300 yards against the Bulldogs a year ago, held to just 114 yards on 21 carries tonight. In the fourth, Livonia hung tough. Matthew Garolmo to David Bell for a pickup of 20. Time ticking away. Garolmo on the keeper picks up 15 more to keep the drive alive. Less than a minute to go. 4th and 2 for the Bulldogs, but Garolmo's pass incomplete. Bulldogs wanted an interference call. They didn't get it tonight. Hornell escapes 14-6. The final to bat. The cheerleaders working hard tonight as the Mustangs hosted Dansville in the second. Andre McLeod takes it from 5 yards out. It was 14-7 Rams. McLeod rushed for 159 yards and 2 scores tonight. Dansville was down 14 now, and things only getting worse as Cody Hutchinson picks off the long pass, and the Rams would take over, and they would capitalize on the very first play from scrimmage. Brett Havens busting through the pack and going 63 yards for the score. Havens rushed for 152 yards and 2 scores. All Bath tonight, 48-13 over Dansville. On the scoreboard, Avery Collier ran for 184 yards on 13 carries and 5 touchdowns to lead Churchville over Spencerport tonight. McQuaid got their first win, 14-7 over Marshall. Athena gets it done tonight, moving to 2-0 as Dwayne Cunningham rushed for 169 yards and Kahim Gist ran for 3 touchdowns as Canandaigua beat Wayne tonight.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
Week 2 of Section 5 football continued throughout the area today, and we're going to get right to the highlights. We start in AAA. Penfield hosting Pittsford. It was a big day for junior running back Phil Boyer. Check him out here, dragging defenders with him as he rumbles down, still on his feet, finally taken down after a big gain. Very next play, Boyer would find the end zone, an 8-yard touchdown run. It was 7-0 Pittsford, and Pittsford wasn't done. Second quarter, it's going to be Boyer again. He rushed for 117 yards on 14 carries today. It was 14-0 Pittsburgh. Penfield trying to make something happen. They go to the air, but check this out. Gary Schreib's pass picked off by the Pittsburgh defense. The Panthers win today 21-10. Staying in AAA, Webster Schroeder at Rush-Henrietta. This one all Royal Comets. Nate DeLone to John Silas. Big touchdown reception here. It was 25-7 RH. Then it's DeLone. The quarterback's going to keep it himself, making some moves, cutting in between the defenders, running to the end zone. 31-7 Rush-Henrietta. They roll on for a 38-15 win. Hilton at Webster. Thomas trailing 17-12. Quarterback Chris Indovina on the keeper, and he runs it into the end zone. It was 19-17 Titans. More from Thomas. The direct snap would go to wide receiver Robert Eskinder. And look at him go, rumbling in, 20 yards on the touchdown score. It was Hilton looking to answer, but check out the defense by Jeff Cumston. It's going to be number 80 here. He tips it up into the air, and then he gets the interception. End of the play. Yeah, that's a pretty big hit, but he'll take it as the Titans take the win, 26-17. City Catholic matchup, East at a dry Edison Field. East first play from scrimmage. Handoff goes to Mark Holloway. Great blocking by the O-line as Holloway goes untouched, 60 yards for the touchdown run. Missed extra point, made it 6-0 East. Later in the first, more from East. Gerald Brooks taking it on the reverse here, coming to you on the near sideline. He runs it in from 20 yards out. They make a 2-point conversion for a 14-0 lead. Edison trying to get things going for them. Joseph Hilwa back to pass, airing it out deep, but it gets picked off by Brooks in the end zone. He did it on both sides of the ball. East escapes with a 17-16 win after a late field goal this afternoon. On the scoreboard, Akeem Solomon rushed for 108 yards as Wilson improves to 2-0, and it was Greece Arcadia 14-6 winners over Batavia today.
Week 3 of the high school football season kicked off with a battle of unbeatens in Livingston County as Cal-Mum visited Avon. The Raiders and the Braves both 2-0 coming into the night, but it was all Cal-Mum tonight. Max Barrett sacked here. The ball comes free. Tom Gomez scoops it up and takes it in for the 7-yard score. It was 28-0 Cal-Mum at that point. The Raiders tacked on another in the 4th thanks to this 4-yard run by James Sickles. John Morosi rushed for 175 yards as well and a touchdown. The Raiders rolled 35-0 over Avon. At Aquinas, the Little Irish hosting St. Francis of Section 6. AQ did it all on the ground as they relied heavily on senior Anthony Fitz, who rushed for 128 yards on the night. Fitz found the end zone on this 3-yard touchdown run. Aquinas improves to 3-0 on the year as they held off St. Francis out of Buffalo 13-7. How about HFL playing its home opener against Bath tonight? If you like offense, this was a good one. Andrew McLeod going towards the sideline, spins, reverses field, and McLeod is going the other way and going all the way. 15 yards for the touchdown. It was 14-7 Bath. More on McLeod in a moment. Jason Beaumont had HFL's offense going through the air. He connects here with Paul Schremer on the 77-yard strike. HFL would tie the game at 14 after the long touchdown, but they could not get a defensive stop. Andrew McLeod strikes again, this time on a 58-yard run. McLeod on the cloud 9 tonight. He runs for 333 yards and 5 scores, all Bath, 52-24. Dansville and Hornell. David Zapata fielding the punt, and Zapata doing what he does best, making people miss. Zapata returns it all the way to the Dansville 27-yard line. Zapata had a milestone night on the ground as he became just the 3rd player in Section 5 history to go over 5,000 rushing yards in his career. He'll probably be the all-time leader by season's end. Hornell had no problem scoring. DJ Schwartz hooking up with Ryan Hunt for the touchdown. Hornell shuts out Dansville 37-0. Also in Section 5 tonight, Brandon Wright had 152 yards rushing, and Lions win over Clyde Savannah. Newark 2-1 after Ollie Smith ran for 3 touchdowns. Ian Humphreys rushed for 166 yards and 2 scores. Leroy wins 50-8, and Livonia beat Wayland-Cohocton 27-12. The rest of the Section 5 high school football scores running at the bottom of your screen.
Section 5 football today, Canandaigua hosting Geneva late first half. Geneva looking to punt, but the snap is high. Geneva punter recovers, but it's Canandaigua ending up in great field position, and Kahim just takes advantage from 5 yards out, gets into the end zone. Braves up 29-12 at the break. And talk about bouncing back in the second half. Geneva's first play from scrimmage, and they're off and running 80 yards on the touchdown score. They would miss the 2-point try, but they were within 11 points. More from Geneva later in the second half. They're going to go for it on a 4th down play, and the decision to go for it would pay off. Here they get the first down, and it's all the way down to the 1-yard line on the nice pass play. And then from there, they would convert on the touchdown. They were within 5, 29-24, but Canandaigua just too much. Gist, a great day on the ground today. The hurdle jump here, a little dangerous play, but he made it work. And then it's Gist running in from a yard out, 180 yards and 4 TDs on the day. Canandaigua wins 36-24. 2 more unbeaten teams. RH hosting Gates-Chili. RH looking to go deep. Nate DeLone back to pass, airing it out to the end zone, but he's picked off by Ricky Stevens. Good defensive play for the Spartans. More defense from Gates. DeLone can't handle the snap. Steve Murphy in on the fumble recovery. He had 2 recoveries on the day, and the Spartans would take advantage. He did it on defense, and he's going to do it on offense. 2 plays later, off the pitch, he runs it in from 11 yards out. Gates-Chili remains unbeaten with a 14-7 win. On the scoreboard, McQuaid improves to 2-1 with a 33-7 win over Franklin, and it was Marshall getting by Edison 28-22. East Rochester takes care of Bishop Kearney, and it was Pittsford over Fairport 20-14 to improve to 3-0. Well, with matching 1-1 records, Penfield and Webster Schroeder met in a Section 5 AAA showdown tonight. We got the highlights. Teams meeting for the coin toss at midfield. First quarter, Schroeder going with the ground attack. Pete Noto takes the handoff, breaking a tackle, cuts to the far sideline, 40 yards, and dives his way into the end zone. 14-3 Warriors. Noto with 97 yards and 2 scores on the night. Final minute of the first. Check out this play. Andy Spadoni connecting with Chris Mason in stride over the middle. No one's going to catch him. 87 yards in the hookup. Spadoni 12 for 12, 252 yards. Schroeder goes up 20-3. Penfield showing that they can do it in the air as well. Brian Schiltz dropping back and airs it to Travis Lucina. He makes the grab in the end zone, made it 20-10, but this one was all Schroeder. They win 33-17.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
Thursday night lights in high school football because of Yom Kippur. Monroe County teams moved their games up a day or two, and that includes Churchville-Chili. Unbeaten. They were playing tonight against Webster Thomas. First quarter, Chris Vital's going to take off here. When he was done, it was a 50-yard score. The touchdown there put Churchville-Chili up 14-7. In the second quarter, Thomas's Chris Indovina pitched to Connor Sorencione. The pass, though, is picked off by Ryan Steedman to end the drive. In the third quarter, Churchville gets the ball to their star, Averin Collier, and he is off and running. He would take this one all the way down to the 1-yard line, and that would set up a short touchdown run to make it 24-7. Collier can do it all. How about the halfback option? Perfect spiral right to Mike Laurie, who pulls it in. He does it all. Churchville-Chili still unbeaten. They take it 38-7. Big crowd at St. John Fisher tonight to watch Pittsford, unbeaten, take on Webster Schroeder. Pittsford up 14-7. Zach Migliori with the keeper for the touchdown to make it 21-7. Then just before half, Pittsford's defense comes through. Andy Spadoni's pass is picked off by Kevin Franier, and then he's going to pitch it off for a few more yards. Pittsford still unbeaten with a win over Schroeder, 21-14. Rush-Henrietta taking on winless Fairport tonight, first quarter. Jonathan Roberts going to take off, and he is gone. This puts the Royal Comets on top early, 7-0. Second quarter, Fairport's Jeff Soja to Brendan McCarthy here. That would set up the score from a yard out. Later in the second quarter, RH's Roberts is gone again. Another long touchdown. This one made it 14-7. Rush-Henrietta wins tonight, the final 28-13. Some other scores from tonight. Gates-Chili, an easy winner over Penfield. Brockport, the same over Spencerport tonight. Also, Greece-Arcadia gets by Irondequoit, and Greece-Athena over Batavia tonight. The final in that one, 30-14.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
Well, by season's end, David Zapata will have rushed his way to the top. The Hornell senior entered week 4 of the season just 360 yards away from Section 5's rushing record. Hornell visiting Wayland-Cohocton tonight. The Golden Eagles trailed 7-0 until Andy Sick fights through some tackles and then gets around the corner, and he's gone 83 yards for the touchdown. Waco cut it to a 1-point game in the first quarter, but the Red Raiders would respond with some trickery. The halfback pass here, Anthony Acor is on the receiving end of the 58-yard strike. 14-6 Hornell back in front. Still in the first quarter, Zapata gets going. The call, he goes right up the gut, and then he's headed right at you. A 44-yard touchdown run. He had 4 touchdowns on the night, 221 yards on the ground. He moves past Webster's Carl Garatano to second on the all-time rushing list, just 141 yards from the record, which Kevin Collier from Churchville-Chili holds at the moment. Unbeaten East Rochester on the road in Geneva. First quarter, Bobby Martin, the play action to a wide open Tyler Travis. Travis gets a block, makes a move, and then he takes it in for the touchdown. Geneva missed the extra point and led 6-0. The Bombers answered right back. 4th and 19. Somehow they convert it. Watch this pass and catch. Matt Wright reels it in. What a grab. The Bombers took a 7-6 lead, but Geneva, they got it done tonight. Dotterer's pass here. Neil Dotterer picked off by Shamar Bridges. Geneva upsets East Rochester, handing them their first loss of the season, 20-15. The final tonight. The Newark Reds hoping to hand Canandaigua its first loss on the season. But the Braves, they had other plans. Third quarter, Nick Michalko up the middle to the 1-yard line. He would score one play later. Stephen Webster also found the end zone for Canandaigua, busting his way in from 6 yards out. Kaheem Gist added 2 touchdowns. The Braves roll. 57-14, the final over Newark. Letchworth visiting unbeaten Cal-Mum. First quarter, Steve Laufer pitching to John Morosi. Morosi finding a hole. He's got some blocking too, and he goes 48 yards down to the 11-yard line before they finally brought him down. That set up Loeffler to Nate Scheidel, and Scheidel fighting his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Kel Mum got the 2-point conversion and led 8-0. Later in the quarter, it's Morosi again. He's on the loose again. This time, oh, they won't catch him. 50 yards for the touchdown. Morosi ran for 139 yards. Kel Mum 4-0 after a 48-20 victory. City Catholic action at McQuaid. The Knights hosted Edison Tech tonight. Second half, the inventors, Joseph Hiwa, going deep for Grayson Ronald, who gets hit and makes the grab down to the 1-yard line. A pickup of 35 on the play. Rodney Rice capped off the drive with the 1-yard flight into the end zone. He got in, but McQuaid overwhelmed Edison tonight. They scored on their first 5 possessions. Pat Jenkins added to the lead in the 4th. The Knights are 3-1 after a 40-8 win over Edison. Craig Bradley scored 3 touchdowns in Victor's 44-10 win, while Brett Clark had 3 touchdowns as well, as Hilton beat Greece Olympia. The rest of the high school scores running at the bottom of your screen.
We've reached week 4 of Section 5 football, and Aquinas was looking to stay unbeaten, hosting Canisius, the Little Irish, 3-0. First quarter, Anthony Fitz on the handoff, and this kid can run, making cuts, breaking tackles, spinning away from defenders there, and he's still on his feet. He's finally brought down after a pickup of 25 yards. Later in the drive, Fitz puts the finishing touches as he runs into the end zone, a 9-yard score. It was 7-0 AQ. Second quarter, Canisius putting together a drive of their own. Sean Brady with the bomb, hooking up with Mike Brown here, the big pickup on the play, so they'd go to the air again. But this time, Brady's pass picked off by Dwayne Smith. That ended the threat. AQ now 4-0 after a 42-14 win. City Catholic action, Franklin at East, and this one was all East today. Fourth quarter, East quarterback Jordan McGill takes the snap, rolling out of the pocket into the near sideline, and he's off. A 63-yard touchdown run for McGill. 49-0 the final. East now 3-1 on the season. Marcus Whitman beat Alba 26-0 today, and it was also Alexander beating Batavia Notre Dame by a final of 24-7.
139 yards. That's all Hornell's David Zapata needed tonight to break Section 5 history. Zapata all smiles before tonight's game with HFL, and he had reason to smile. Zapata taking the handoff, bouncing to the outside for a big gain inside the HFL 10-yard line. Very next play, Zapata would take it in from 5 yards out. The Hornell senior does it tonight, rushing for 302 yards. He's the all-time Section 5 rushing leader with 5,566 yards. Hornell rolls 43-3. A battle of unbeatens on the west side tonight. Greece Athena and Eastridge. Fourth quarter, 4th down. Eastridge lined up for the field goal, and it's a fake. Wayne Washington finds Kamar Burton in the end zone for 6. Eastridge took a 10-point lead. TJ Cheney would seal it for the Lancers, calling his own number on the keeper. A 10-yard touchdown there. Eastridge 5-0 after a 27-10 win over Athena. Homecoming at Churchville-Chili tonight. The Saints ready to take on Hilton. First quarter, Nate Bolin right up the middle, through a defender and into the end zone. A 12-yard touchdown. It was 7-0 Saints, with Avon Collier sidelined with an injury. Chris Vitale picked up the slack in the second quarter, going 24 yards here for the score. Vitale rushed for 207 and 3 scores. Churchville-Chili is 5-0 after a 36-24 win over Hilton. City Catholic lead. Wilson on the road at McQuaid. The Knights jumped on Tamaris Bell's back, and Bell carried him tonight, working his way through traffic, breaking tackles. Bell had 204 yards on the ground. He also found the end zone twice. Watch this effort here by Tamaris Bell. On a mission to find the end zone. Look at him spinning, breaking tackles. No one can bring him down because he's going to the end zone. 45 yards for the score. McQuaid 4-1 after a 14-12 win over Wilson. Bath and Wayland-Cohocton. First quarter, no score. Andre McLeod continues to run well for Bath as he gets into Waco territory on this run to the near sideline. McLeod punched it in on the very next play. He had 154 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Bath wins 32-0. The rest of the high school football scores running at the bottom of your screen.
The football, week 5 of Section 5 football continue today. We begin under the lights at East Rochester. The Bombers hosting Pal Mac tonight. First quarter, 4th and 5. Bombers going for it. Neil Dodder, Gunswood, and Nick Fisher for the score. It was 6-0 ER. Third quarter, more from the Bombers. Dodder again back to pass. Hits Matt Pagano. He makes some nice moves after the catch. When it was all said and done, a 40-yard pickup for the Bombers, and they would take advantage, setting up some trickery here. Fisher taking it on the reverse. He runs it in for the touchdown. It was 22-0 Bombers. They roll 42-14. They're now 4-1 on the year. A battle of unbeatens. Gates Chili hosting Pittsford on homecoming weekend. Second quarter, Talk about turning defense into offense. Nick DiMartino's pass is deflected by Pittsford's Ochika Baku. He catches it and takes it for the touchdown. It was 14-7 Pittsford. Gates strikes back. Ricky Stevens taking the handoff, and look at him go, cutting through defenders, taking it 28 yards for the touchdown, 161 yards and 2 scores for Stevens. The game was tied at 14. Fourth quarter, Pittsford marching, looking to the air, but the pass is intercepted by Steve Murphy. And again, the defense helping out the offense. On the ensuing drive, DiMartino throws for the end zone. Chad Dillard reels it in for the score. Gates Chi-Li improves to 5-0, 27-14. The final. RH hosting Penfield. RH's Nate DeLone back to pass. He finds Jonathan Roberts, and he's going to make a few moves for a 22-yard pickup. From there, it's Clay Harris finding the end zone. It was 14-3 Royal Comets. Penfield trying to fire back. Brian Schiltz out of the backfield to Kyle Van Thoff, but he fumbles as he goes down. RH would recover. Royal Comets win 21-16. They are now 4-1 on the season. City Catholic matchup, Marshall hosting East. East with a quick pass out of the backfield to Gerald Brooks. He breaks to the outside and tiptoes the near sideline, barely stays in, running in for the touchdown. Then East quarterback Marcus Mosley pushes the pile on the quarterback keeper. East improves to 4-1 with a 12-0 win. They'll host McQuaid next Saturday for the City Catholic title. And for more of these games and all Section 5 games, head to Game Time on 13wham.com. We post the raw video from games shot by our photographers. It's your source for expanded coverage of Section 5 sports. 13 Wham, Game Time.
High school football tonight, as big a rivalry as there is in Section 5. Cal-Mum, Leroy tonight. Leroy went to the ground early. Ian Humphrey with the run. He's brought down near the goal line. No, that would set up a touchdown, making it 7-0 Leroy in the first. They would go on to the win tonight. Leroy taking it by a final of 21-6. How about Rush-Henrietta and Pittsford at St. John Fisher? Third quarter, RH quarterback Nate DeLone with the big pass to Clay Harris for the big gainer there. Then on the same drive, Jonathan Roberts takes it in for the 14-yard score to make it 20-14 RH. In the fourth quarter, though, RH threatens, but they fumble the snap, and Pittsford would take over. And Pittsford quarterback Zach McGlure would take it in for the sneak. Jeff Curran's point after put Pittsford ahead by 1, but RH comes back. DeLone to John Bersales for the game winner, and Rush-Henrietta beats Pittsford tonight. 26-21 is your final.
What a crowd there tonight.
Big one at Fisher tonight. Yep.
Now, 13 Wham Sports.
Week 6 of Section 5 football featured a battle for the City Catholic title with East hosting McQuaid. The Knights and Orientals entering the game with matching 4-1 records. Early first quarter, McQuaid driving, and they give it to Tamaris Bell on the handoff. He runs it in from 4 yards out. It was 7-0 MCQ. One of the better highlights from East came on defense. Check out that hit. Preston Clements puts on Brian Parker, but the Knights would respond with offense. The short pass to Bell, and he's not easy to bring down, making moves and breaking tackles. Coming down the near sideline, 59 yards on the score. The Knights win the City Catholic title 21-7. A rivalry matchup this afternoon. Athena hosting Arcadia. First quarter, Courtney Goff is going to take the handoff. Bounces out to the outside, and he's gone. 35 yards for the touchdown. It was 7-0 Trojans. Arcadia looking to respond. Marcel McCregor is going to go to the air, but his pass is picked off by Lamont Hudson to end the drive. On the ensuing drive, Athena would go back to the ground. Dwayne Cunningham up the middle, stays on his feet, 50-yard touchdown run. 14-0 Athena at that point. They cruise 42-7. A battle of unbeatens in Livingston County. Hornell and Bath both 5-0. Hornell's offense clicking early. DJ Schwartz over the middle to Eric Davidson. He makes a move, and he's gone. 74 yards for the score. Raiders on top, 21-7 in the first. In the third quarter, Section 5's rushing leader, David Zapata, takes the handoff and into the end zone. Hornell wins by a final of 35-13.
And it's time for sports. The Section 5 football playoffs kicked off in Class AA tonight as top-seeded Churchville-Chili looked to avenge last season's section final loss to Marshall. The Saints, the top seed this year, Marshall 3-3 on the year as the 8th seed tonight. The Jurors down 14-6 at the half. Fourth quarter, they made their move. Dwayne Bruce gets loose and goes the distance for the touchdown. It was a 2-point game with Churchville still hanging on. 3rd and 27 here for Marshall, and Bruce gets the call again, picking up nearly first down yardage on the play. The Jurists converted on 4th down, and they would keep the drive alive. Freshman quarterback Ashton Brold on the keeper, goes in from the 3-yard touchdown. Marshall had an 18-14 lead after a 13-play, 82-yard drive. 47 seconds remaining. Churchville driving, but the pass is picked off by Eddie Jackson, and that would seal it. Marshall pulls off the stunner after losing 31-6 in the season opener to Churchville-Chili. They get it done in the playoffs, beating the Saints 18-14 to move on. Also in Class AA quarterfinals tonight, Hilton at McQuaid. 4th quarter, Hilton pinned deep in their own territory, forced a punt, and Andrew Nichols can't handle the high snap. He was out of bounds for the safety. It was 21-9 Hilton. Late in the 4th, though, the Cadets put it out of reach. Brett Clark with a huge night, breaking free, 33 yards for the touchdown. He had 3 on the night. Hilton stuns McQuaid, 28-9 to move on in Class AA. A battle of unbeatens as the regular season wrapped up for Leroy and Hornell. Down in Hornell, 2nd quarter, the Knights went to the air. Mike Humphrey is in there to reel in the pass to the 5-yard line, and Leroy was in business. Brady Bonaquisti capped off the drive with the 5-yard touchdown run. Leroy remains unbeaten. They knock off Hornell tonight 21-14. Another big Livingston County showdown. Cal Mum at Bath tonight. 3rd quarter, Andre McLeod doing damage once again on the ground for Bath, getting to the corner. And he is in from 25 yards out. The Rams had a 21-8 lead in the 4th after the Raiders had to punt. Bath took over, and McLeod, he went back to work. Spinning, getting loose again. You got to wrap this kid up. He's gone. 161 yards on the ground tonight for McLeod. 4 touchdowns. Bath pounds Calmon 34-14. We go to Paetec Park. Wilson taking on unbeaten Eastridge tonight. 1st quarter, Eastridge with the ball. T.J. Cheney from the shotgun, and he's going to keep it himself, and this was a wise idea. He gets to the near sideline, and he is gone. 73 yards on the touchdown run. Cheney rushed for 108 and 2 scores. Eastridge completes a perfect regular season, going 7-0 after a 34-13 win over Wilson tonight. Over to East Rochester. The Bombers facing Westmoreland out of Section 3. 1st quarter, ER in the red zone, and Cole Sorsey takes the handoff, and he'd find the end zone from 14 yards out. It was 6-0 Bombers in front. Sorsey rushed for 112 yards on the night and found the end zone twice. The ER defense holds Westmoreland to just 21 total yards. Bombers win 26-0. The rest of the Section 5 scores running at the bottom of your screen.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
After 2 big upsets last night, Section 5 playoff football continued today with 3rd-seeded Pittsford hosting Spencerport in Class AAA quarterfinal matchup. Pittsford 4-2 entering today's game. We go to the 3rd quarter, 20-0 Panthers. Brennan Burt fakes the handoff and keeps it himself. 5-yard touchdown run. It was 26-0 Pittsford. On the ensuing kickoff, Spencerport unable to handle the kick, and Pittsford recovers in great field position, and they would take advantage on the first play of the next drive. Burt rolling out and hits Matt Landry 25 yards on the hookup. Burt was 5 for 5 for 73 yards on the day. Panthers roll 39-8. Also in AAA action, number 2 Rush-Henrietta hosting Penfield today. Quarterback Nate DeLone from the shotgun, and he's going to keep it himself, getting some great blocks upfield and cuts it to the near sideline. 60 yards before being tripped down at the 1. DeLone with 159 rushing yards on the day today. He's the quarterback. That sets up Clay Harris taking the direct snap in for the score. That made it 28-10. Royal Comets win 35-17. In AA, Webster Thomas at Greece Athena. 1st quarter, Joe Sleeman with the pass to the end zone and a great catch by Brian Carmody to reel it in. It was 7-0 Trojans. More from Athena. Courtney Goff on the carry, and watch him work his way in for the score. It was 14-0. Thomas Wood Rally getting it done on defense. They put on the pressure, and J.J. Torito makes the interception. You see him coming into your screen here. Finds the end zone. The rally would fall short, though. Athena holds on for a 21-20 win. They'll face Marshall in the semis. On the scoreboard, 5th-seeded Schroeder with a 2-point upset over number 4 East in AA. It was top-seeded Canandaigua by a touchdown over Brockport. The Braves are 7-0.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
The Section 5 football playoffs continue tonight with unbeaten and top-seeded Gates-Chili hosting Edison. We've got highlights for you. Edison Tech pumped while the Spartans ready to go on their home turf. 1st quarter, 1st drive for the Spartans. Travis Finnerty with a play fake and hits his tight end Jeff Harder over the middle. 23 yards on the score. It was 7-0 Gates-Chili. Here comes Edison. Joseph Hilwa back to pass, but check out the pick by Eddie Goolsby. Gets some air and comes up with the interception, and he brings it back a ways, and Gates-Chili would take over in good field possession. The offense was working for the Spartans on the sweep. Webster Tucker, 12-yard touchdown run. Gates-Chili advancing with a 35-8 win under the lights tonight.
For sports, Marshall pulled off the upset of the high school football playoffs a week ago when they ended top-seeded Churchville-Chili's season. Tonight, a date with 6-1 Greece Athena in the Class AA semifinals. The captains meeting at midfield before the semifinal at Paetec Park. First quarter, Marshall quarterback Ashton Broiled on the keeper. He puts the Jurists up 6-0 with the touchdown run. Just before the half, Marshall found the end zone again as Dwayne Bruce powers his way into the end zone. Marshall thinking upset again. They led 12-0 at the half. Third quarter, Athena got the ball first and got on the board first as Joe Sleeman finds Brian Carmody for the big gain into Marshall territory. The same combo hooked up again, this time for the touchdown as Carmody makes the great grab for 7. It was a 5-point game, but Marshall just found a way, led by Broiled. Here, he's on the loose again, and Broiled making people miss. Finding the end zone for the touchdown. Marshall does it again, upsetting Athena 18-13. They are in the Section 5 Class AA final for a second straight year. Who will they play in the other Class AA semifinal at Paetec tonight? Unbeaten Canandaigua taking on Hilton. What a night for Canandaigua senior tailback Kahim Gist on the pitch. Gist with a nose for the end zone, and he finds it 9 yards out. 14-7 Braves, but Gist was only getting warmed up. His number was called again. Gist is loose again for a big pickup of 28 on the play. The senior set a Section 5 record, 449 yards rushing tonight. That's 4th best all-time in the state. And Gist, no stranger to the end zone. He found it 7 times. For the second time this season, he scores 7 touchdowns. Canandaigua in the Class AA final after a 56-39 win over the Cadets. In the Class A action, 5th-seeded HFL at 4th-seeded Victor tonight. Second half, Jason Beaumont finding Zach Yeager for the HFL touchdown here. Yeager gets in. The Cougars were back within 7. In the 4th, Chuck Beckwith on the ground. And the Chuck wagon was rolling all the way to the end zone. 34-20, Blue Devils on top. Late 4th quarter, HFL trying to mount a rally, but Beaumont's pass is going to be picked off by Chuck Beckwith. Victor added a touchdown 2 plays later. The Blue Devils advance 41-20 over HFL tonight. How about unbeaten Eastridge hosting Wayne? First quarter, the Lancers putting a hurting on the Eagles. Devon Hopkins. Oh, you can't see him coming out of the backfield here at first, but there he is, and he is coming right at you all the way. 84 yards for the touchdown. Get that kid some oxygen. He's going to need it. Eastridge was up 14-6. The Lancers did it on offense and defense tonight. TJ Rockelin comes up with the interception, and he returns it for the touchdown. 594 yards of offense for the Lancers. They roll 56-13. The Class B playoffs, Marcus Whitman and East Rochester. First quarter, Neil Dodderer got the ER aerial assault going, hooking up with Nick Fisher for the 19-yard touchdown. It was 7-0 Bombers. Whitman answered right back, faking the handoff. Jordan Hawthorne looking deep, launching it deep. Jamie Murphy is there, and he reels it in. 63 yards for the touchdown. Whitman missed the extra point and trailed by 1. Second quarter, Dodderer had it going again through the air. Matt Wrights over the middle. Wrights makes a move and then makes it to the end zone for the touchdown, but Whitman pulls off the upset, beating East Rochester 20-14. The rest of the high school scores running at the bottom of your screen.
More local news in the morning. 13 WHAM News this morning, now from 5 to 9 on Rochester CW, Cable 16, Digital 13.2. Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
A perfect record on the line for Gates-Chili this afternoon as the Spartans went head-to-head with Webster Schroeder in the Class AAA semifinal. We go to Paetec Park. Schroeder, the 5th seed, Gates-Chili owning the top seed. Already 21-7 Gates in the first half. Quarterback Trevor Finity rolls to his right. Doesn't like what he sees, so why not change directions? Taking it to the opposite sideline, he finds the pylon for the touchdown. It was 28-7 Spartans at halftime. They kept the pressure on in the second half. Finity with the touch pass. Chad Dillard reels it in for the touchdown. It was 35-7 Gates-Chili, and they were not done on the afternoon. Nick DiMartino taking the handoff and coming to the near sideline into the end zone. Spartans roll into the finals. 42-13 the final. They'll face either Pittsford or RH in the finals. We'll have highlights of that game later tonight. Another unbeaten top-seeded Aquinas hosting 8th seed Brighton in a Class A quarterfinal. Little Irish start things on the ground. Senior back Anthony Fitz from 3 yards out puts AQ up 7-0. It worked once, so why not try again on the ground? Fitz again getting the handoff, and this time cutting through the middle. 30-yard touchdown run. He rushed for 118 yards and 4 TDs on 11 carries, all just in the first half. The defense applied pressure on Tyler Glickman. He's picked off by Mark Broden, and that set up a Casey Vogel 3-yard touchdown run. He gets into the end zone. The Little Irish advance to the Class A semis, 47-7 the final. AQ is 8-0. In the Class B quarters, Andre McLeod had 4 TDs on 153 yards. Bath shuts out Waterloo 46-0.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
Well, Aquinas rolled into tonight's Class A semifinal with Victor at 8-0, looking to advance to the championship game for a second consecutive year. Victor and the Blue Devils playing under the lights at Paetec Park tonight. After a scoreless first quarter, the Little Irish finally got on the board by faking everybody out. Casey Vogel on the keeper, 46 yards for the touchdown. It was 7-0 Little Irish at the half. Third quarter, Victor's offense averaging 35 points a game this season. Tonight, they couldn't get anything going. Craig Bradley fumbles. AQ recovered. It led to another touchdown and a 14-0 lead. Aquinas put the game away in the fourth. Anthony Fitz gets loose, and he's in from 29 yards out. Aquinas improves to 9-0, shutting out Victor tonight, 28-0. Who will they play? The other semifinal tonight, Wilson taking on unbeaten Eastridge. First half, TJ Cheney on the option, calling his own number. He's going to run towards the sideline, trying to make something happen. We lose him here for a second, but he's not down on the play because he's going to reverse field, and he is still running into Wilson territory after a huge pickup. Cheney would cap off the drive through the air, looking for Kamar Burton from 4 yards out, and he finds him with 52 seconds remaining in the first half. Eastridge added 2 scores in the second half and shut out Wilson 21-0. They'll play Aquinas for the title next Friday night.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
The Class AA final is on the line tonight as unbeaten Canandaigua hopes to stay perfect against Marshall. The Braves currently hold a slight edge, leading 14-13 at the break, and it's part of a busy playoff day at Paetec Park. The day started with a Class C semifinal, top-seeded Leroy taking on Bishop Kearney. First half, already 7-0 Leroy. Ian Humphrey taking the handoff through traffic up the middle, 33 yards on the touchdown run. It was 14-0 Knights. They kept it on the ground back with Humphrey, and another great run for him. He had over 200 yards rushing in the first half alone. That would set up fellow senior captain Brady Bonaquisti with the 1-yard TD plunge. Leroy on top, 20-0. Third quarter, BK gets the offense going. Jake Meek finds Preston Scott, and he breaks some tackles, cuts it back to the middle here, in for 29 yards on the pass play. But it wasn't enough. The Leroy ground attack was too much today. Chris Andrews getting the carry here. Leroy cruises into the Class C final with a 36-14 win. So who will they face? Pembroke and Letchworth in the other semifinal game. Pembroke would strike first. Joe Striegel getting the call, finds an opening, and he's gone. Coming right at you, number 45, for the 48-yard touchdown run. 1 of 4 for him on the day. It was 6-0 Pembroke. They were up 13-0 when Letchworth got their offense moving. Travis Tones on the keeper. Nice pickup here. Watch him make some moves, set up a score to cut the lead to 7. But back comes Pembroke, and their quarterback, Mike McHenrick, keeps it himself and into the end zone. That put Pembroke up 20-6. They roll 47-12. They'll play Leroy in the championship game Friday at Paetec Park. Class D semifinals at Aquinas. Dundee passed Notre Dame 18-0, and it was Boulevard Richburg all over Finney 43-0. The two will meet in the Class D finals. That coming up next weekend.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
Unbeaten Canandaigua look to continue their story year by capturing the Class AA title. But standing in their way, the defending AA champs from Marshall, who are riding a 3-game winning streak into tonight's championship game. The Jurists looking for the upset tonight, tied at 7. Marshall's quarterback Ashton Brold pitches to Tara Weil. He dives in for the touchdown. They would miss the extra point. They were up 13-7. Canandaigua responds before the half. Kaheem Gist on the carry. Watch him work his way into the end zone. Braves took a 14-13 lead into the break. Second half, Gist takes over, getting to the outside and cuts back up, goes untouched, 30 yards on the touchdown run. It was 21-13 Canandaigua. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the Kaheem Gist Show. Gist rumbling 50 yards on this carry down the near sideline. Defender gets on him here, and he's coming right into your living room. James Karp, our photographer, getting all the action tonight. He'd take it in from there. Gets 5 TDs on the night. Canandaigua rolls 42-12 to win the AA title. The Braves are a perfect 9-0.
And we're back on Sports Overtime into high school football for the Class AAA final between Rush-Henrietta and Gates-Chili. Opening kickoff of the game. John Bursales fields it for the Royal Comets, and Bursales gets some great blocking, finds a hole, and he is gone. 87 yards for the touchdown. What a way to start the game. 7-0 RH. Just a sign of things to come in this one. The Spartans answered in a big way. Trevor Finnerty back to pass, finding Chad Dillard for the touchdown. Part of a 21-0 run for the Spartans. It was 21-7, but back came the Comets in the fourth. Nick DeLone to Bursales. Bursales untouched, 33-yard score. RH down 7. It was 35 all with under a minute to go. DeLone to Corey McAllister on the slant. RH in position in the final seconds for a game-winning field goal. Nick Condello from 23 yards away, and he splits the uprights. RH wins its first Section 5 championship since the 80s, 38-35 over Gates-Chili. A wet and soggy afternoon for the Class B semifinals at Paetec as Geneva took on Hornell. First quarter, the Panthers got it going on the ground, and they didn't stop. Jeremiah Allen, 319 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. Geneva knocks off top-seeded Hornell 34-12. The Panthers will face Bath Haverling in the championship game after the Rams rode Andre McLeod to the finals. McLeod rushed for 178 and 4 scores as well. Bath rolls over Marcus Whitman 41-0 the final. Ahead on Sports Overtime, the Amherst closed out the weekend on home ice against Binghamton. Highlights when we come back.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
Unbeaten and ranked #1 in the state, the Aquinas Little Irish look to capture their second straight Section 5 championship against undefeated Eastridge tonight. Paetec Park, the site for the Class A championship. Another big night for AQ's Anthony Fitz. Here he gets loose for a 17-yard pickup, moving Aquinas into Lancer territory. More on Fitz in a moment. His run led to this. Ben Bostic airing it out for Todd Wingate. Wingate comes down with it and reaches for the end zone for the 33-yard touchdown. AQ was on top. Aquinas went back to the ground late in the game. Anthony Fitz made Irish eyes smile tonight. 3 touchdowns, including this 19-yard run. Let the celebration begin. Aquinas repeats his Section 5 Class A champs 28-7 over Eastridge. They'll host Section 6's Sweet Home next Friday at Paetec. How about the Class C championship at Paetec tonight as well? Top-seeded Leroy facing Pembroke. First quarter, Ian Humphrey exploding up the middle. Watch the stiff arm here as he goes in for the 24-yard touchdown. It was 7-0 Awatkin Knights. To the fourth, it was 7-3 Leroy when Travis Fenstermaker hits Mike Humphrey in the corner of the end zone for the 3-yard touchdown. Leroy was up by 11. Pembroke had their chances all night. They were inside Leroy's 30, but Mike McHenrick's pass picked off by Fenstermaker, one of 3 turnovers by the Dragons. Leroy hangs on for its 13th Section 5 title. That's tied for most all time with Clyde Savannah and Cal Mom.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
The Section 5 Class B football title on the line this afternoon with second-seeded Bath taking on #5 Geneva. We go to Paetec Park for the championship game highlights. First quarter, Geneva's first possession, Jeremiah Allen taking the handoff and finding the end zone. It was 6-0 Panthers. Second drive for Geneva, and again, they would find the end zone. Bobby Martin looking for short yardage, but check him out, going up the middle. He's gone in for the touchdown. It was 12-0 Geneva. Late in the first, Bath now driving. Jake Coover hits Tyree McLeod. That would set up a short TD to get Bath within 5. And on Bath's next drive, it's Coover. And this time it's going to be him keeping it on the quarterback keeper, rolling out and finding the end zone for the touchdown. It was 14-12 Bath. Mid-second, Geneva punting, and Andre McLeod is back to receive, and this kid is a playmaker. Making a few cuts and coming to the near sideline. 63 yards on the punt return for McLeod. It was 21-12 Rams. Just 8 seconds before the half, Geneva driving. Martin back to pass, and he's going to find Darius Thomas in the end zone. They converted the 2-point conversion to get within 1. It was 21-20 at the half. It stayed that way until the fourth. Geneva retook the lead. Jeremiah Allen, a 6-yard TD run. Panthers converted the 2-point conversion and come all the way back for the 28-21 win. Geneva is the Class B champion. The first game today, the Class D final between 2 unbeatens, Bolivar Richburg and Dundee. First quarter, 7-0 Bolivar. Anthony Poole from 10 yards out, goes into the end zone. It's 14-0 Wolverines. Poole with 146 yards and 3 TDs on the day. Second quarter, Cameron Connor on the keeper, in for the 4-yard touchdown. Boulevard Richburg wins the Class D title, 38-21, the final. 17-yard run, 7 plays, 16 yards for him. He had a big day with 3 touchdowns as Dundee wins big today, 38-21. In high school, we got a qualifier going on. Winner is advancing to the regional play. There's a question mark there because the game's just started. We're not sure where it's at. Canandaigua and Rush-Henrietta playing to see who advances in Class AA.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
Well, they've already won Section 5 championships in their respective classes, RH and AAA, and Canandaigua in AA, but only one team can advance to represent AA. So tonight, the 2 teams went head-to-head in a qualifier game to determine who's moving on in the state playoffs. We go to Paetec Park for the host of tonight's game tied at 7 in the first. RH's quarterback Nate DeLone caps off an 11-play, 51-yard drive with the 1-yard keeper. Royal Comets on top, 14-7. Second quarter, Canandaigua responds on the ground. Kahim Gist, 8 yards on the touchdown run. The game was even at 14. The Braves stay on the ground. This time it's a 9-yard TD for Gist. He ran for 245 yards and 5 TDs. That includes a kickoff return. Canandaigua moves on to regionals with a 38.
Well, it's time for sports. A year after their season came to an end in the state semifinals, the unbeaten and #1 state-ranked Aquinas Little Irish look to earn a trip back there with a win tonight. The Class A regional, the Little Irish facing Sweet Home out of Buffalo tonight. Second quarter, Sweet Home's Casey Kaz to Noah Wachahukwu for a pickup of 10 on the play. The drive would continue for Sweet Home as Marcus Johnson takes the shovel pass in from 5 yards out. It was 14-7 Aquinas at the half. Second half, here come the Little Irish. Cedric Barber running strong, gets to the near sideline and out of bounds at the 10. Barber capped off the drive on the ground with the 10-yard touchdown, 21-7 Aquinas. Still in the third, Barber does it again as he gets the call, and he goes right up the middle into the end zone. His second touchdown on the night. Aquinas moving on to the state semifinals next week at Paetec. They win 28-7. In Class D, unbeaten Bolivar Richburg taking on Randolph. Opening drive for Bolivar. Cameron Connor on third down hits Chris Childs over the middle to keep their drive alive. Anthony Poole would finish things off. He would push the pile forward from 3 yards out. Wolverines up 7-0. Poole 133 yards, 2 touchdowns on the evening. Randolph's ensuing drive. Matt Hattenberg on the pitch. Gets to the far sideline, rumbling his way 57 yards before he's finally pushed out of bounds at the 2-yard line. He'd score later. Cardinals tied it at 7 apiece. In the second, Randolph down 14-7. Cody Johnson, the play action, finding Chris Erdman wide open, 39 yards for the touchdown. We were tied at 14 apiece, but Bolivar came back with their air attack. Cameron Connor rolling out to his right, airing it out to Childs, and Childs, he reels it in. 46-yard touchdown, 21-14 Bolivar Richburg. Late in the half, same duo would connect again. Connerts to Childs. And this one, he's going to hit him in stride. 35 yards on the hookup. Bolivar Richburg wins 35-14. Wolverines now 11-0. They'll play in the Class D semis next Friday also at Paetec Park.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
Well, another Saturday and another day of high school football, but the stakes are higher this weekend with a spot in the state semis on the line. We go to Paetec Park, starting in Class B, Geneva taking on Depew. It was 7-0 Geneva in the second. Jeremiah Allen taking the pitch. Doesn't like what he sees, so he cuts back, picking up some great blocks along the sideline, goes into the end zone, all that for a 13-yard score. It was 14-0 Geneva. Joe Cristiano for Depew. Getting on the board, the quarterback keeper here, a 1-yard touchdown. They would rule that it was good. That cut the lead in half. But just before the half, Geneva would answer in the air. Bobby Martin finding Shamar Bridges over the middle. He finds the end zone, 26 yards on the hookup. It was 20-7 Geneva. Second half, they go back to Allen, 11 yards on this run. He sets a state tournament record for rushing, 394 yards. Geneva moving on to the state semis with a 32-14 win. The Class C regional, Leroy taking on Cleveland Hill. First quarter, Leroy driving. Travis Fenstermaker to Mike Humphrey in the end zone, 12-yard touchdown there. It was 7-0 Owatkin Knights. Late in the first, Ian Humphrey capped off a 9-play, 75-yard drive with an 8-yard touchdown run. It was 14-0 Leroy. in the second, Brady Bonaquisti, one of his 2 rushing touchdowns on the day. He caught another. The Oatkin Knights with 450 yards of total offense, a 40-7-20 win. The final, Leroy will play the Section 3's Bishop Blood in the Class C semis next Sunday at Paetec Park.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
A battle of unbeatens in Section 5 football as Canandaigua and Orchard Park battled for a spot in the Class AA semis. Paetec Park hosting today's regional games. It was 7-0 Orchard Park in the first. Jeff Tundo on the pitch, breaking tackles, cuts back to the middle, and he's gone. And look at the official in a foot race with him there, but Tundo's going to go break and loose, 85 yards for the score. It was 14-0 Orchard Park. Down 21-7, Canandaigua would respond. Justin Tomzak to Connor Henderson, a great catch here. Coming right at you, 59 yards on the pass play. It was 21-14 OP. Third quarter, Braves down 28-14. They go to their ground game. Kaheem Gist to the far sideline, and this kid's got speed. He's going to tiptoe his way for the 64-yard score. The lead was again down to just 7 points, but too much from Orchard Park today. Kyle Hoppy with the play fake, and he hits Joseph Level for the 7-yard TD pass. 49-27, the final. Canandaigua finishes with a 10-1 record.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
A spot in the Class A state championship game was on the line tonight as unbeaten Aquinas faced unbeaten Carthage of Section 3. Paetec Park hosting the state semifinals this year. First quarter, the Little Irish struck first. Anthony Fitz through a gaping hole. He goes in untouched for the score. Aquinas jumped out to a 7-0 lead. The AQ defense stood tall all night. Todd Wingate picks off Zach Mulvaney. The Little Irish forced 2 Carthage turnovers. In the fourth, it was just a 10-point game until Cedric Barber takes the pitch, gets to the corner, and dives for the pylon. That's a touchdown. Aquinas is headed to the Dome. They'll play for a state championship next Friday afternoon after a 17-0 win tonight. Class D semis, another battle of unbeatens. Bolivar Richburg taking on Walton of Section 4, and Walton did it all on the ground tonight. Richard Fletcher busts his way up the middle into the end zone, a 9-yard touchdown. Fletcher rushed for 154 and 3 touchdowns. Second quarter off the pitch, Logan Wood 20 yards in for another touchdown for Walton. They put up 399 yards of total offense while holding Bolivar to just 33. Walton rolls into the state finals, 42-0 winners tonight.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
Unbeaten Leroy put its perfect record on the line today in the Class C state semifinals, taking on Bishop Ludden from Section 3. Paetec Park serving as host for the state semis today. Leroy would strike first. Travis Fenstermaker back to pass, gets it out to Andy Alexander, and look at the effort from Alexander down the sideline, breaking tackles, working his way, just carrying defenders. 66 yards for the touchdown, 7-0 Leroy. Later in the first, tied at 7. Here comes Ludden. Wendell Williams takes the pass from Connor Sweeney in the end zone, 25 yards, 13-7 Leroy. We go to the third, tied at 20. Fenstermaker keeping it himself, 2 yards on the plunge. It was 27-20 Leroy. Fourth quarter, Ludden answers. Daquan Grobsmith from 3 yards out, and he makes it into the end zone, tying the game at 27. We'd go to overtime. In OT, Ludden scores first. Sweeney to John Rooney, 12 yards, 34-27. Leroy driving, and it's Ian Humphrey on fourth down, punching it in from a yard out. That cut it to 34-33, so needing the extra point to tie, but the kick is blocked, and that's the way it would end. 34-33 Ludden, that in overtime. In Class B, Geneva taking on unbeaten Chenango Forks of Section 4. For Chenango Forks, Jake Reynolds capping off an 11-play drive with a 1-yard TD run, 7-0 Forks. Late in the first quarter, Geneva's Tyler Travis finding the end zone, that from 5 yards out. We jump to the fourth quarter. Geneva down 14-7. Quarterback Bobby Martin on the keeper and extends into the end zone, 10 yards. An extra point would tie, but Denze Williams, his attempt is blocked. Another extra point failed. Forks edges Geneva 14-13.
Now, 13 WHAM Sports.
Ranked #1 in the state, unbeaten Aquinas put its perfect record on the line today in the Class A state championship game. The Little Irish taking on Lansingburg of Section 2 at the Carrier Dome today. Senior running back Anthony Fitz cutting up the middle, and look at him breaking tackles here. Gets the spin move and just keeps going. 17 yards for the touchdown. It was 6-0 AQ. Lansingburg's first in possession. Connor Gallo back to pass, but check out the air that Todd Wingate gets and getting the pick, and that would set up on offense. Fitz from 2 yards out and into the end zone. Fitz, 159 yards on 25 carries and 3 TDs. He earned MVP honors. Lansingburg down 14-6, and the Knights looking to cut the lead. Kenny Young's on the far side, stays on his feet for the 9-yard score, but they did not convert the 2-point conversion. AQ up 28-12 in the fourth, and the Irish seal it. Ben Bostic to Dan Young, 21 yards on the hookup. Aquinas wins the Class A title 34-12.
Winning the state title was a big deal, but to go 13-0 and to be #1 in the state, it's amazing for us to know that no Aquinas team has done that in a long, long time. And I think now these kids have put themselves in the history book at that school.
Congrats to them. A perfect ending to a perfect season for the Aquinas football team as the Little Irish capped off their unbeaten year with a state championship. We go to the Carrier Dome, the Little Irish taking on Lansingburg in the title game. Senior running back Anthony Fitz cutting up the middle, spins there, and look at him breaking tackles, rumbling 17 yards for the touchdown. It was 6-0 AQ. On Lansingburg's first possession, Connor Gallo back to pass, but Todd Wingate gets some air, and he gets the pick, and that sets up the offense. And Fitz gets the carry 2 yards out and into the end zone. Fitz, 159 yards and 25 carries, 3 TDs. He earned MVP honors. Lansingburg down 14-6. Knights looking to cut the lead. Kenny Young's on the far side, stays on his feet for a 9-yard score, but they did not convert the 2-point conversion. So AQ up 28-12 in the fourth, and the Little Irish seal it. Ben Bostic to Dan Young, 21 yards on the hookup. Aquinas wins the Class A title 34-12.
Feel pretty good, you know. Last year going undefeated winning states feel pretty good.
This is an unbelievable feeling. You know, I'm blessed. I coach a great group of kids. I like I said before, I'm just the guy watching. Great group of kids, great staff. The school is phenomenal. I'm so happy and proud of these kids.